You are still keeping it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, something we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now is coughs. Now, coughs can come in many different forms and can range anywhere from a week to 8 weeks. But before seeking professional medical advice, one can take the right steps to self-medicate and speak to their pharmacist to alleviate a mild cough. Now, we chat to Jackie Mayman from the Independent Community Pharmacy Association on what to discuss with your pharmacist when it comes to self-medicating a cough. Good morning, Jackie, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and hello to both of you. I hope you're keeping warm and dry.
We're definitely trying our best here in the studio. Now, Jackie, before we go about seeking costly medical advice, speaking to your pharmacist is a great way for professional medical assistance, I'm assuming. But what does it mean to self-medicate, and when is it advised or not advised to do so?
Firstly, costly medical advice. Getting medical advice doesn't necessarily have to be costly. I mean, you can pick up a phone and speak to your pharmacist at any time. It costs you nothing, but it can save your health quite a lot. So self-medicating is when you take medicines without any professional guidance. And I would say that if you've got mild symptoms that you know the cause is like a paper cut or something like that, absolutely fine to self-medicate. If it's a very mild cough, also fine just to use a honey and lemon or a general cough syrup. But self-medicating, one also needs to be very careful. And I would say, firstly, best advice, don't ever use anybody else's prescription medicine. And don't self-medicate if the symptoms are severe, if they're persistent, or if you've got any underlying conditions. Then it's best to get some medical advice.
I like that because I'm someone that when I have maybe a symptom of something, I want to first go do my own little thing before actually asking medical advice, you know. But what should we be asking our pharmacists if we have recently caught a cough?
So I think when you walk in there, you need to say to your pharmacist, what sort of cough have I got? What are the causes? What are the symptoms? And how can I best treat this? Your pharmacist then will ask you a lot of questions, and it's very important. They need to get a medical history. So we're going to be asking you to describe the cough. Is it a wet cough? Is it a dry cough? Are you coughing up any phlegm? Is it discolored? Is your chest tight? Have you got a headache, a runny nose? The other thing that's very important is that we need to find out if you have any underlying conditions. So are you diabetic? Do you have high blood pressure? And are you allergic to anything? So these are just a few of the things that we would then ask you after you've asked us for assistance.
All right, Jackie, so I think I am with you now. So once we have established what type of cough we have and whether or not it's a fever, when can we expect to start feeling better? I know I'm one that's always just wanting to get straight back into the game as soon as I can, but where does it come to when we're talking about that?
So very often a cough will follow on from a cold or from flu. Now, a cold, generally, your cough is going to be over within a few days, about a week. If it's a flu, and this is where your pharmacist will be able to assist you, with flu, the cough can persist for longer. And I would say to all the viewers out there, if you have a cough that has been going on for weeks and weeks, and it has an associated fever with it, you most definitely need to seek medical advice. Right now, the hot topic is COVID. So, you know, fever and a cough and a scratchy throat, absolutely go to your pharmacist, or at the very least, go online and do the symptom checker for COVID-19.
What would you then say are some of the medicine essentials to get us through a winter cough?
Let the pharmacist find out in your family, are there any allergies? What conditions are there? And we can recommend a general cough mixture, which you can then self-medicate with for mild coughs. I would say as well, you need to have something to reduce fever. So this could be paracetamol or aspirin. Again, ask your pharmacist, which is what is best for your family. And then a multivitamin, some vitamin C, and perhaps one of these menthol or eucalyptus chest rubs are your essentials for coughs and colds during this winter.
I love that, almost like a bit of a prevention, and those essentials you mentioned, I think, are so important for everybody. But often when we haven't included that in our regime, we often get to a point where, like you mentioned, after 3 weeks, we still have a cough, we still have certain symptoms, and then we start thinking about things like antibiotics and those extreme solutions. Is this something we should even consider, and what are the cautions when it comes to antibiotics?
First of all, 90% of coughs are viral and do not require an antibiotic at all. If you've had this cough and the cough has been going on for 3 weeks, but it's been the same all along, then I would say you probably don't need an antibiotic, and we need to have a look. Have you perhaps got a bit of a sinusitis, a postnasal drip, or possibly you just had a lot of phlegm in the chest that we need to get out? Bear in mind as well, smokers very often have coughs which carry on for a long time, don't require an antibiotic. When you need to go and speak to your pharmacist and see if you should be referred to the doctor for an antibiotic is when you've had a cough or cold, you've started getting better, and then suddenly your symptoms get worse and your cough really gets bad. You start getting a fever, your chest is tight and sore, then absolutely we need to refer you and see if you require an antibiotic.
Jackie Mayman, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for taking time, just to educate us on those coughs and also the preventative measures that we need to take in order that we don't get those coughs that you're talking about. So thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Always great chatting to you.
Have a beautiful day. Now, your pharmacist certainly is your greatest weapon. And with it being winter, we know we need all the help we can get. So DILINCT Junior is specially formulated for alleviating coughs in young children. And it's tartrazine and alcohol-free, are recommended for children for 2 years and older.
DILINCT Junior clears a wet cough and thins and loosens chest mucus, suitable for children from the age of 2 years.